running late, so just get up. Love you guys. Have an awesome day.
Late on the day that's an hour late.
I don't know. How are we running late today?
No.
Get out. I love ya.
It's not raining right now.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Today, I am going to be working on a completely new, different kind of project. But in order to get started on this one, I feel like I need to give you guys a little bit of backstory. When I was pregnant with Jordan, I made him this blanket by just tying together 2 pieces of fleece. It had the cute animals on one side and just a bunch of monkeys on the other, and I thought it was adorable and I loved it. So when I was pregnant with Malia, I went out and I bought the 2 pieces of fleece and I tied them together so she would have a cute baby blanket made by Mom. When I first found out I was pregnant with Jaxen, I had every intention of making another baby blanket for my 3rd child. But when I got pregnant with Jaxen, everything was different because as soon as I got pregnant with Jaxen, I got sick. I got really sick really soon with Jaxen. My first trimester alone, I lost 25 pounds. I had something that's known as hyperemesis gravidarum, which means that you're basically not able to hold any food or any drink or anything down, and everything comes back up when you swallow it. And it was really bad. It got so bad that I was hospitalized for 4 days, and they put a tube up my nose and down past my stomach, into my small intestine so that I could actually get enough nutrients to not die. So when I say I was really sick, I was really, really sick. I actually had to have tube feedings 18 hours a day. So I had to be in bed, laying down, being fed for 18 hours a day with this tube. And that lasted for about 6 weeks. So I was not able to do anything for those 6 weeks. That was the end of my first trimester and into my 2nd trimester when I was so sick. So when I finally was able to start eating again and start able to get out of bed again, I was still really miserable. I was sick constantly, but at least I was able to hold down enough food to literally sustain myself. And that was really about it. Jordan and Malia were amazing. They were so understanding of the situation. It was amazing. They would come and sit with me in my bed and we'd all watch TV and we'd read books and we'd hang out. Well, I did not have to get out of bed for that, it was a miracle really, because I couldn't get out of bed at that time. But then when I was able to get up and get around, I could move around more, but I still didn't have much energy. I still felt terrible for most of the pregnancy. But then as soon as I started feeling better, you guys, I started feeling worse. I started getting symptoms of preeclampsia pretty early in my 3rd trimester. So I started gaining a lot of water weight. They started watching my blood pressure. They started making sure, keeping a closer eye on me. But really, I just felt bad. Towards the end of my pregnancy with Jaxen, I was swelling up so much that my shoes literally broke at the seams. It was summertime, thank goodness, so I was just wearing flip-flops. I was just wearing a pair of sandals. But when I'd walk in them, it would literally pull the shoe apart when I'd try to walk because my feet were so swollen in the shoes. So I broke 3 pairs of shoes trying to walk in them, you guys. 3 different pairs of sandals were completely ruined because my feet were too swollen to wear the shoes. When he finally was born, I was not able to do the things that I wanted to do before he came. For Jordan and Malia, before they were born, I made belly casts for both of them. Of my pregnancy, I had the big belly, and I took a cast of each one of my bellies for the kids, and I intended to save them for them. I did not get to do that with Jaxen because I had no idea that Jaxen was going to be born as soon as he was. It wasn't as though we knew he was going to come. It was just that I knew they were keeping an eye on all of these things. We knew it was a possibility he was going to come early. We just thought we would have more time to prepare. So what happened was, when I was 35 weeks pregnant, we went into the doctor to talk to the doctor about the situation, and he said, your protein count in your urine is way too high. You need to have this baby now. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me get my affairs in order and let me figure things out. And he said, no, I mean, you're going to be life flighted in a helicopter to a better hospital who can actually support you while you go through this birth, because we don't have a NICU at this hospital, and you will need a NICU because this baby is going to be born sick. I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel like I needed an emergency transport to a better hospital. So I really didn't understand the situation at the time. I knew that I was sick enough to be having a baby, like he needed to come out, but I really didn't realize how sick I was at the time. Turns out Jaxen actually spent 10 days in the NICU after his birth, and I actually spent 6 days in the hospital after he was born. And usually you get to leave the hospital within 24 hours, but I was on so much magnesium and unable to regulate my own blood pressure. It was so high and it was so erratic that it was dangerous for me to actually leave the hospital. So I stayed for 6 days and he stayed for 10. So then I get out of the hospital and have every intention of making him this blanket, and I can't make him a blanket because now I found myself in a situation where I had 3 kids, and one of them was pretty needy because he was a little teeny tiny guy. He needed a lot of attention, and I didn't spend any of the time that I needed to spend getting these projects done. So Jaxen didn't get a belly cast. He didn't get a blanket from mom. The other 2 both had calendars that were filled with all the little important dates for everything that they did, and I did not have time to do that either. I really, to this day, feel really guilty that I didn't get any of those things done. But thankfully, the internet exists, and there are lots of other parents who have shown that this is pretty normal, that your first kid, you have lots of time. Your second kid, you have a little less time, but still some time. And by the time that 3rd kid comes around, you really don't have time for anything. Jordan said to me just the other day, "Mom, could you make my blanket a little bit bigger? I'm outgrowing it and my feet stick out the bottom, but I love my blanket and I don't want to stop using it." So to that, Malia says, "Yes, this blanket is my favorite blanket." And Jaxen looks at me with these terribly sad eyes and he says, "Mommy, why didn't you ever make me a blanket?" I have never felt worse in my life, you guys. I felt terrible. I didn't think that it mattered to him because, he's always had a favorite blanket on his bed, and I didn't think it mattered to him that it wasn't made by me. But with those eyes that he just said, "Mom, why didn't you make me one?" I thought, no, I have to get this project done. I have the fabric, so I took all morning and I found where I had stashed this fabric, you guys. It's been put away for 4 years. This is the actual receipt for when we bought them. 2/27/16. That's almost 4 years ago. But then it occurred to me that he had so many other blankets, he really didn't need one. And then we moved and it got placed somewhere else, and I just never got around to this project, you guys. So today, I am going to make him that blanket. Even if he's 5 years old, I don't care. He's gonna have this blanket that mom made for him. I'm gonna make his baby blanket for him, and I'm gonna give it to him when he gets home from school as a surprise. He has no idea I'm doing this, you guys. But I'm gonna have a baby blanket for my baby so that he doesn't feel like I just didn't care, because that's not the case at all. I really always wanted to make it for him, and I really have always felt guilty that I never got around to it. So I really need to get this done. So that's my project for today, you guys. I need to make Jaxen a baby blanket. After 5 years, I can't feel guilty he doesn't have a baby blanket anymore. I finally finished it, and he's gonna be so excited to finally have a blanket, just like Jordan and Malia. I'm so excited to finally have this project done, you guys. I really hope he's excited as he was disappointed, because I can't stand that look of disappointment on his face, but I'm really hoping that the look of excitement when he gets home is gonna make up for it. Guys, my alarm just went off. It's time for me to go get my kids. I am so excited to go get Jaxen and finally give him his long-awaited baby blanket. Whoa, it's rainy out there.
Get in.
Welcome home, my little rainy kids. Jaxen?
What?
I have something for you.
What?
I want you to go look on the couch.
Okay.
Do you like it?
Thank you. Why is his material so soft?
Because it's brand new and yours has been used for 8 years.
8.
10 years on that one, 8 years on this one. And poor Jaxie didn't even get one until he was 5. Do you forgive me?
No.
You still mad at me?
No, I'm not mad.
Do you forgive me? Are you sad that I didn't make you one still? Because I made you one. Don't be sad.
I'm not sad.
You're not sad anymore?
I'm a dog. Woof woof.
Do you like it?
My whole house.
All 3 of my babies have their blankets that Mom made for them. I didn't really explain why it took 5 years to make Jaxen's. I don't really have an excuse for why it took 5 years to make
I
Jaxen's.
understand it was taking like 1 year.
I intended to make it while I was pregnant, and then since I didn't get it done before he was born, it just seemed like less of a priority over time. And I really didn't know that it mattered to him until recently, and then Jordan wanted a bigger blanket, and Jaxen was so sad because he didn't have a blanket. So I had to get it done. I absolutely needed that done, not just for Jaxen, but for me, because I felt terrible that I never got it done. So, Jaxen, do you like your blanket?
Yes.
Is it super snuggly and soft?
Fluffy. So fluffy, I'm gonna die. He has 4 or 5 blankets.
Yeah, now he's got way too many blankets for his bed. Maybe we'll have to clear off some of the other blankets. But at least now he has his baby blanket that he won't grow up now thinking that Mom didn't care to make him a blanket, because I did care. I guess I was busy for 5 years and I never got around to
I
it.
have an idea.
What?
When they grow out of their blankets, you can attach it to mine, and then I can have a really huge kid blanket.
Well, I could make yours bigger. I don't know that you would want me to, though, because that was your baby blanket.
No, I mean I want it to make it bigger so I can keep it like for my life.
You're gonna use it. Hey, honey, we've been married for 12 years. Can you please stop using the baby blanket?
No. This is going to be our bed sheet.
Maybe you should put it away and save it for your babies, and then they could use it.
No, I don't want to get other baby stuff all over it.
I'm glad you guys like your blankets, but for now, I need to get my Smartypants to bed. So,
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Want to make this channel strong? Share it with your friends. And now, good night, YouTube. See you tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. This is this side, and this is the other side. I love it.